John Jackson here alongside Christian Scotland Williamson, and you actually came to this university, so it must be nice to be back.
It is good to be back. 2011 until 2014, this is where my career started, but it was in a different game. I was playing on this very pitch, but it was playing rugby, and now to see the NFL Academy here, something very close to my heart, and also having spent time at the IMG Academy, there's a lot of vested interest in this game.
I was going to say, you've got to change your terminology as well from pitch to field, and I know you scored a try in the corner just here.
A lot of nostalgia. That bottom corner, one of very few tries of my career at Loughborough, but it was a great memory.
Yeah, it's an amazing facility here, absolutely loads of gyms and sports fields and different types of pitches. We've got a basketball court just behind us here. You must have loved this. The NFL Academy had been around when you were here, because sadly it wasn't until a little bit later on that the NFL Academy was formed here.
Yeah, definitely. I only got my chance in rugby in my third year at university here, so if I had the opportunity to play American football at an earlier stage like these young men do, have an opportunity to go to college and then play at the higher level, you can only imagine what could happen with more time to learn the game at a younger level, where at the highest level where I joined in International Player Pathway program, you're learning against TJ Watt, you're learning against the best of the best, you're learning in Steelers training camp, and that's the first time you're putting pads on. But to have this as a proving ground to play against the top academy, an American academy coming over to England, is extra special and great experience for these players.
It really is. And we don't see too many English or British players in the NFL. Obviously, it's a sport that's predominantly played in the United States. So to test yourselves against, kids who are coming through the system, playing football throughout school and then into college, it's a great test to kind of work out where you are, because you can be in the gym here, and we've seen some of the guys training before the game, actually seeing where you're at compared to people who have played this for many, many years. Must be really interesting, I'd imagine.
Especially because for a lot of the players on the NFL Academy, this is their very first time suiting up in a live game. So to get a litmus test to see where they are against people who've grown up with the sport in their back garden, and have the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with them and really get a gauge of where they are. We saw IMG come to town last year and they actually went away with the win, so hopefully we'll be able to right that this time around.
Yeah, well, every year is a lot more experience. We'll chat some more to Christian Scotland Williamson in just a second. First though, Carl Walkinshaw, your commentator today, has been chatting to the man behind the NFL Academy. He's the big boss man, Lamont Winston.
I'm here with Lamont Winston, who is the head of the NFL Academy. Lamont, so good to have you here.
It's outstanding to have me here. It's a pleasure to be here. It's game day. It's a long time coming. It's a lot of excitement, and I am so thrilled to just be here at Loughborough University to make this experience great for the whole campus of the Loughborough College and Loughborough University, and all the students and neighbors and the kids, and we want this experience to be something fantastic for everybody.
Now, you took over the NFL Academy just recently, and I know you've got a wealth of experience. You're considered like the grandfather of character development in the NFL, working with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. It's a real honor to have you here. What are you looking for out of this game specifically today?
We want to make sure that our young guys compete. We want to compete from the start of the whistle to the end. We want to make sure that they can find out the kind of players that they are. They believe in each other, they believe in our process, and they trust the process.
It's
we
fire.
do that under pressure, which I'm sure IMG will provide a lot of that for us tonight. They'll grow as young men, and that's really the whole goal, is that they continue to learn American football done our way against our kind of competition, and that they begin to grow not only as individuals but as a team.
Now, you've obviously, the football, we know they play football. It's so much more than that. How important is the character development side, and how different is it working with NFL players to working with 16 to 19-year-olds?
Well, the importance of character development, we actually have kind of rebranded that to leadership and put that under leadership. But character development is a byproduct of leadership. But it's essential, because this game is meant to be played from the inside out, and that's life. And so we want to make sure that our guys are learning that from the inside out. And it's no different whether they're 16, 19, 25. I've had them all the ages. That constant development of you as a person, and what you do in relationships, your communication ability, how important it is to you, that follows you the rest of your life. And it's national football. We want to make sure that when we put that kind of investment in our young people and then they in this game, we owe them that. We owe them the opportunity to develop as people from the inside out.
Now, it takes a lot to put on this game. I know you've been working in partnership with a lot of organizations, so speak a little bit to that.
Well, this what we have here is in partnership Loughborough College. They provide all the education and accommodation for our student athletes, and the university, which provides the world-leading training, physio, all of that support for our young people in the National Football League. Because we do this collectively, we can make this happen, and it's been happening. We just had a young man today that accepted a scholarship to Northwestern that played for us last year. So we know that it's working, but we can't do this without each other. And that's the other thing that our young men are seeing. We're pointing that out to them, that no matter how good you are, you're only as so good as those that are around you. And so this partnership has worked with all our other partners in Nike, Wilson, Riddell, all those companies that have come alongside us to help us make this a reality.
And just finally, over the next sort of couple of years, what's your overall vision for this NFL Academy moving forwards?
First of all, that's the academic side of me. I want all these young men to be able to, graduate from high school, have some other career plan, pathway options for them, and then obviously be able to go and play in America. And there's so many different levels to play in America where they can extend their careers. And so I like to see all of our young men get an opportunity to play in America and here in the UK.
So good to speak to you. It's a real honour to speak to you. I know how much impact you've had on the game over these years. We wish you very good luck with the role and good luck today, and thank you very much, Lamont Winston.
Well, it's a pleasure, and like I said, we appreciate all the support that you've given us in the media, and we hope that continues, and we want to make all of you very, very proud in the UK.
Thanks, and back to John.
A man with a huge amount of football experience, Lamont Winston there, speaking with Carl Walkinshaw. And Christian Scotland-Williamson is still alongside me. We're just going to see some highlights now of the first game that these guys played. They're playing a mini-series now of 3 matches, and they went over to Ireland ahead of this game. This is the second of the 3 games. This was at the end of August and played against the Irish side, the Bonner and Prendy Friars, which looks like it was a great occasion. And Christian, while we watch the highlights of this, what was your experience of moving from an elite sport here in the UK in rugby union, and how did you get to be at the Pittsburgh Steelers?
So I actually moved to Bradenton, IMG Academy, in January 2018 and spent 4 months doing a crash course in American football. My first ever football practice was actually against these very high school players with Jordan Mailata. So believe it or not, both of us, our journey started in the NFL training with the IMG Academy, and that was our first football practice. No pads involved, obviously, but learning the technical aspects of footwork. And just from being in an ecosystem that's such an elite sporting institution that IMG Academy is, you really got a feel for the coaching staff, the way that they precisely drill the players so that they're able to make the next step, where they've had lots of top 10 first round draft talent come through the IMG Academy. So it's going to be a really tough test for them today. Yeah,
and as I said a little bit earlier, playing against kids that have grown up with this sport as opposed to, moving across. And you were a tight end, I believe. And what positions are a lot of these guys who have come from, for example, rugby or other sports, what kind of positions do you think they'd be filling?
Well, that's the best thing about American football. There's a position for every single shape and size. So if you're a bigger guy, you might be on the line, you might be in the trenches, whether it's defensive line or offensive line, who knows. But for those intermediate guys who are quick but also have a bit of strength, you might be a linebacker or a tight end. And then it goes to the outside, you go to the fast guys where it's receiver or DB. And at this level where guys are so early into their football transition, I think it's about finding the right fit but also being flexible, because they're not going to have a position nailed down at this stage. It's still up for grabs, it's still up for them to move and progress as they go potentially to the next level.
Yeah, it's obviously a very, very inclusive sport, and you can find that position that fits you, and a lot of people will just play recreationally while they're at school, and some, as the guys we're going to see today, take it to the next level. Last time out, we brought you the coverage of this game last year, and it was the IMG Academy that won 24-16, wasn't it, to the IMG Academy against the NFL Academy. They're probably going to want to hope to get their own back, you'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I think having been there at the game, you could really sense a sense of nerves, a bit of apprehension. Into a lot of the players from the academy side, NFL Academy, were nervous about going into their first game. I hope that the coaches have really instilled in them, and from having that experience of playing against an American high school last year, they're not going to be as starry-eyed this time, and they're going to come out firing in the first half, because that was the problem last year.
Yeah, they really, really will. I think we can now take a look at just the brief highlights of what happened last time out when we joined this very game in 2022 at the Grove, just north of London.
The NFL Academy in black, IMG in white. Our visitors from Florida that come over all this way to play NFL Academy. What an exciting prospect this is. Ball is out again, and it's the second return for a touchdown. As Lizzie goes to a wide open receiver, that is caught!
IMG Academy 26, NFL Academy 14.
Yep, so it's time for the rematch coming up in a matter of minutes. First, though, Carl Walkinshaw's been speaking with the head coach of the NFL Academy, Steve Hagan.
Hi, I'm here with head coach of the NFL Academy, Steve Hagan. It's so good to have you here, Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So 38 years experience really with the NFL, and you were assistant coach in New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, and then you were college and Notre Dame and a whole raft of stuff. How does it feel coming to the UK and taking over the NFL Academy?
Oh, this is fun. Excuse me. This is a lot of fun because this is way different than what I was used to. You know, we have some players that have played football for a couple years on the team, but the majority of the team is young at football, and in America they know football, and we don't know football like they know in America, so we're learning. It's fun.
And in terms of today with IMG last year, there was a loss 26-14, but you've come in as a new head coach. Now, are you looking to turn around that score this year?
Oh yeah. No, we want it to be the same. Absolutely. We'd love to do that, and you know, we're just trying to build a team that plays forward all the time. We don't really want to focus on the scoreboard. We want to focus on what we do well. And the scoreboard will take care of itself if we do those things right.
Now, you took over in July. What was the philosophy coming into the NFL Academy in terms of what are the things that you preach about being the most important things for this organization?
Well, this is what I tell my kids all the time. We want to be smart, fast, physical, fundamental football players that do whatever it takes to win and leave no doubt. So when you start with that as your model, then you start to teach them to be smarter. Then when they become smarter, they become faster and more physical because they become more confident. Then they become more fundamental because they understand it. So now you have a smart, fast, physical, fundamental football player that can create a team out of. But if we can't advance their football intelligence, their FBI, then it's really hard. And so we spend a lot of time on film and, just working the execution of plays over and over and over.
And these players, a lot of them will go over to the States and try out for those Div 1 schools. How much do you have to prepare them for that? I know the whole academy is preparing them for that, but what are the keys to really preparing a player for those Div 1 tryouts?
They have no chance in America if they don't become a smart, fast, physical, fundamental football player, because that's what America has, and it's loaded with it. It'd be like our guys coming to the Premier Soccer League over here. You just don't have a chance unless you grow up in it. And so what we got to do is immerse our team and our players in this sport as deep as we can. So we practice every day and we talk football. The language, we have like 14 different languages on this team, but our common denominator language is football, and that's what we talk.
And just one other thing, how do you get the balance right between the football side and the sort of the character development, leadership side and the academic side as well? I mean, it must be a challenge.
It's a big challenge, and I'm probably not real good at that. I try to focus on the football part and the character development, because a good character is going to be a good football player eventually. But it's definitely a challenge because they're student athletes, and we want them to be good student athletes, or they won't be able to go to America on scholarship. So that's what we're trying to focus on.
All right, well, Steve Hagan, we're obviously wishing you so much good luck for
Thanks.
the game today. It's such a pleasure to have you with us, the NFL Academy head coach, Steve Hagan.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
NFL Academy head coach Steve Hagan there. Christian, you mentioned the NFL Academy's been around since 2019. We're now in 2023, coming into 2024 very, very soon. How much has the Academy grown in that time?
A huge amount. So the inception was the combine at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Juju Smith-Schuster broke his combine record for the 40 when he was participating. So going from a concept where players had no idea about American football, just going through the measurable tests, to now playing games just a mere 4 years later, it's honestly incredible. And to see the growth of the game domestically and internationally, it really shows that there is a proven pathway for these young men to follow in terms of going from NFL Academy to college and then hopefully beyond. So it's a really exciting part of being in the NFL Academy to be here today and watch these guys play.
I've been chatting to some of the people from the university as well, and they're saying that all the students who have the NFL Academy merch, they're like the envy of everyone because it looks so cool. We've heard from the home team head coach. Now let's hear from the away team, the IMG Academy coach, Kyle Bray.
I'm here with head coach of the IMG Academy, Kyle Bray. Kyle, so good to have you with us. Welcome to the UK.
Thank you very much for having me. It's exciting to be back again this year.
Now tell us a little bit about the setup of this IMG Academy white team that you're playing today, because there's 4 different teams, isn't there? And just tell us where this sits in the overall program.
Absolutely. So IMG Academy in all sports has multiple varsity teams that they field. We have our national football team that you usually see playing on ESPN year in and year out and has some of the top players in the country. And then we have our varsity program, and that consists of 2 high school football teams within it. One is IMG White, one is IMG Blue. Today you're going to have IMG White on display for the game. And then we also have a postgraduate football team, which is the gap year that the NCAA provides you before your clock starts for college football.
And how many domestic versus sort of international games are you playing these days?
You know, I think, this game last year was the first time that the football department had played an international football game. Last spring, we played a scrimmage versus Puerto Rico's national team as well. It was at IMG Academy. And then coming back here again was really just a testament to how great the experience was last year. The big thing that we'd like to do is continue to play and start to play more. I think that's something that the Academy has talked about is there's opportunities for great experiences, being able to go in any direction from the United States and find teams that want to play football and be a part of the grassroots of growing the game across the globe.
And where do these athletes come from in IMG Academy? Do they get, I know you're based in Florida and that you're attracted within state, but do they come from other states as well and internationally?
Absolutely. The unique thing about IMG Academy is that we're a boarding school. And because of that, we have players from all over the U.S. and international. The unique thing is they all show up in the summer together. These are young men that have not grown up together. So it feels very collegiate in terms of the cadence and the rigor of our day of how we prepare them for college football.
Now, turning our attention to the game today, you won the game last year, 26-14. It was a close game in the first half, and then IMG pulled away. What are you expecting today?
Another exciting game. The big thing that we want to do for our families and our players, not just us, but for NFL Academy as well, is we want to continue to have opportunities for these guys to showcase their skills. NFL Academy does an amazing job of gathering talent internationally year in and year out. And we're about halfway through our IMG varsity season. I know this is going to be the next contest for them, and we're excited for this to just be a good game.
All right, well, it's so exciting to have you here. We're so thrilled you came back for a second year. Kyle Bray, head coach of the IMG Varsity. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
The IMG Academy head coach, Kyle Bray, there as we see the players coming out behind us now. A lot of anticipation, a lot of team spirit as well, a lot of friendly banter going on there. Christian, we've heard from the head coaches there who have a lot of experience, and that is a huge part of these academies. And obviously you mentioned there that you first went to the IMG Academy. What kind of level of coaching are we talking? Because these guys look pretty serious.
They definitely are. With a game like American football where it's so prescribed, the playbook, the plays, the technique involved in each position is so detailed that being able to close the gap domestically from the UK to America is so important in these guys' development, because now they've actually got proper coaches who are able to give them those small nuggets of information at this early stage, which will be the difference between winning or losing a matchup and then feeding into the greater game. So the amount of coaching resource over in America obviously is incredible, because there's proven pathways for coaches to go from high school to college to the professionals, whereas now we're able to see that infiltration of American knowledge to the UK domestically, and that's only going to improve the game.
Yeah, it's huge, and obviously today's game is going to be a real showing of talent, but there is a big prize on the line. That third game of these 3 games is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Tuesday night. I mean, that's an incredible stadium to play in. I'm assuming you're going to be there?
I will most certainly be there. Every game domestically these guys play, I make every effort to get to. So Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in a game week where the NFL London games are on, what a privilege and what an opportunity for these guys.
Literally be on the field just days after the Buffalo Bills lose, hopefully, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, the Spurs Stadium is a place that you need to go to. You can watch soccer, football there, but why not come down on Tuesday and watch the NFL Academy in action? Tickets are available now, and this should whet your appetite.
The NFL came to Tottenham in 2019.
We were always here. The NFL Academy were the first to step on this field.
We practiced here in 2021 and got the taste for it.
Now it's time to play here for real. The NFL Academy is the UK's home team.
Now it's time for us to ball out on the biggest stage.
We'll be catching touchdowns in this amazing stadium.
We'll be making sacks in this amazing stadium. NFL Academy versus Erasmus Hall. Watch it live.
An incredible stadium, an incredible occasion. There's a QR code on the screen. You can get your tickets right there and come down, join me and Christian as the NFL Academy play the final of these 3 games at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London, the same place the NFL are playing 2 games over the next 10 days or so. So that's it. As you can see behind me, everything's getting ready out on the pitch. So it's time to get there for the action. The IMG Academy are here in town in Loughborough in the East Midlands of the UK to take on the NFL Academy. Carl Walkinshaw.
Thank you. Welcome to the commentary booth as we welcome out the IMG Academy Varsity White. Obviously playing in blue this evening, but great to be here. Great to be with my colleague and friend Carl Walkinshaw. You can almost already feel the tension, can't you, Carl?
Certainly can, Matt. Here they come, the IMG Academy. What an epic game it was last year when they got that victory, 26-14. But it was the NFL Academy that were leading in at half time. But this IMG Academy, they are a powerhouse, Florida-based. And you heard from head coach Kyle Bray the different units that they have, and this is their top varsity team. They have 2 sort of varsity teams. They have a white team and a blue team. This is the team that is top ranked, number 200. They play the best 250 teams rather than playing the top 500. So it's their better varsity team, the NFL Academy, going against today, and it's going to be a big challenge. But you know that head coach is up for the task.
And as we heard from the pre-game interviews, the difference between these 2 outfits is very much that the IMG guys grew up with football and the NFL Academy guys are kind of playing catch-up. But nevertheless, that gap is forever shortening. And the IMG guys are going to have a real challenge on their hand tonight, Cole.
They are the NFL Academy. They've got 62 players in their intake for 2022-23 from 13 different countries, Matt. So, this is not just a UK experience, it's all over the world. They have special events in Africa where they're bringing in African athletes. They have South America, they have European, they have British, and it's going to be a real spectacle today to see all of those different nations coming together. And you heard from Steve Hagan saying the common language here for both IMG and NFL Academy, well, is football.
And we have a beautiful venue this evening here on this autumn Friday evening in the East Midlands. Loughborough University the host, and Loughborough University and Loughborough College host the NFL Academy guys, these 16 to 19-year-olds who take the field now, dressed in white this evening, as they make their way across the field to their sidelines. A huge applause and greeting from the Loughborough faithful.
Yeah, here they come, the NFL Academy. September 2019 opened up, and it offers these talented student athletes aged 16 to 19 a pathway to combine their education, Matt, with football and potential Div 1 schools, Div 2 schools in America. So these athletes have been going out to America over the last couple of years and trying out, and they've had a lot of success with the NFL Academy alumni that have gone on to get those Division 1 scholarship deals and play for those Div 1 schools, and that's exactly what the NFL Academy was all about.
As we heard in our pre-game, this is the second of 3 games that the NFL Academy will play in this autumn series. Played out in Dublin not so long ago, and they fell to a 34-24 decision against the Bonner and Prendy Friars. But like we said, Carl, that gap closing. They're looking for their first victory over an American team here tonight in Loughborough.
That's it, the 26-14 loss to IMG Academy last year, the 34-24 the NFL Academy lost to Bonner and Prendy. So yeah, they've never beaten American opposition. So if they win tonight, that will be a huge psychological hurdle overcome. When you start winning against the American opposition, you really know you've turned a corner in terms of the development of the program, the development of the coaches, and getting to that place where you're going to get even more athletes stepping up to those scholarship positions.
And not to bypass this game too quickly, but Tuesday brings a real spectacle for these guys, being involved in a game in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in that cauldron, that enclosed environment. It has been touted as the 4th NFL London game this season, obviously midway between the Bills and the Jags on Sunday, and then the week on Sunday the final NFL game will take place. And obviously these guys will be thinking about tonight's game, but they're going to have half an eye on playing at that Spurs Stadium, Carl.
They've got to focus in tonight, but yeah, it's a big game in Tottenham. Obviously, when you play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it feels very, very different to even the great facilities we have at University of Loughborough, but it's just